Good morning. It is Tuesday, August 11th. We're here in Western Maryland, Zone 6B. It's about 9 a.m. in the morning and 73 degrees. We have a gorgeous breeze and just a little bit of humidity. Let's go take a look and see what's growing in the garden. Alright, so welcome to the garden. First we have some potatoes. Those are a russet and a red Sangree potato. I put them in tires. It's an experiment because we have very heavy clay soil here, and it's just easier to grow them in a raised area. So the leaves are starting to die back. Those got planted at the beginning of June. Due to some family things, we didn't get the garden planted until late this year. And then in this patch, I also planted potatoes probably around the middle of July, so I should have new potatoes for fall. This is an Amish paste tomato. It is absolutely huge. It sustained a good bit of deer damage and then just bushed out like crazy, but it's finally starting to set some fruits in there. So I have some pretty big ones. I love Amish paste tomatoes. They are sweet and very meaty, and they're just great for eating fresh or for slicing. They're between a Roma and an ox heart, and they get about 8 inches long. Next to the tomato, we have cucumbers, and the cucumbers are sustaining like major cucumber beetle damage. So I need to take those out. It looks like my volunteer squash back there is not doing so well either. So those will come out this weekend, and hopefully I'll be able to plant some spring things in there if my tomato doesn't vine out anymore. We have another tomato. I forget what this is called. It's a cherry, and it gets yellow with purple shoulders on it. Over here we have a watermelon. These are some old seeds I threw in the ground just to see what would happen. But we do have a watermelon here. It's like a little bit smaller than a tennis ball right now. So those are sugar baby. They won't get huge, but hopefully they will be delicious. Over here we have herbs. We have some beautiful Alaska mix nasturtiums that I've been eating a lot in salads. And next to that, a huge parsley. I call it a shrub. It's about 18 inches around. I have been harvesting it like crazy, and it just doesn't quit. Then we have another thing of Alaska mix nasturtiums. These have a more pretty peach-colored blossom on them. And in between, we just have some common thyme, which I need to get out here and prune because it's looking a little scraggly. And right here I have carrots. They are just starting to come up. You can see a little bit of green in there. And I have never successfully grown carrots, so I'm really excited to see if those are successful in this garden. Up front here I have 2 more tomato plants. Those are San Marzano for making paste, and then I have a big basil plant. They're growing up together pretty well. And then over here is my sad beans. These are tender crop. This is a brand new garden this year. Brand new soil, so it is not inoculated with anything, and I think that is just not good for beans. So I will rip those out and probably plant some red beets in there. Just need to realize that I'm not going to get any beans this year, unfortunately. And then we have a couple pepper plants. They're really crowded. I didn't realize the tomatoes were going to bush out this large in this bed. Obviously the bed has plenty of nitrogen, or it wouldn't be this huge forest of tomato plants. So I need to do a soil test this fall and see what I'm missing and what we need to amend in here. Okay, over in this bed we have our squash, and I have a couple eggplant also. You can see the squash is getting pretty hard hit with powdery mildew. They're still producing great though, so I'm not really too worried. I've been spraying and picking leaves. I just need to get out here and do a little bit of maintenance. You can see the butternut squash are doing great. I have quite a few pretty large butternut squash babies starting. And these are also getting attacked pretty well with squash bugs, and I've been squishing squash bugs with no abandon here in this garden. Here's an eggplant. I love eggplant, and there's a little baby one on there. Actually, probably not even close to a baby. It looks like it could be harvested anytime. I'll probably wait a couple days because we won't need it till the weekend, so I'll let it get a little bit bigger. Despite this powdery mildew, the squash is just producing like crazy, and there is a squash bug. If you don't know what squash bugs look like, I will squish him. They're really the bane of my existence. I don't see any eggs out here right now, but I'll need to do a little bit deeper of a search. This squash is an Italian heirloom. It's a Casella, and then some Italian words that I can't pronounce. And then over here I have another butternut squash that is doing really, really well. I have one that's at least a foot long, 2 right there, and 3. So I should get at least 4 really nice butternut squash this year, which is great. Also, something is getting in here and eating our squash. So we do not have a fence yet. It is just fishing string on some posts to deter the deer. And actually it looks like something broke the fishing string over here, so we're gonna have to retie that. I don't know if it's a deer. I'm guessing it's a deer based on the height. So it's in here eating the leaves of my butternut squash. Not a huge deal. There's still quite a long season for butternut squash. Over here I have an 8-ball. There is one right there. These get exactly what you would think, the size of an 8-ball. And I sprinkled some diatomaceous earth in this bed because the squash bug nymphs are just out of control, the ones I'm not catching. These are squash bug eggs, so when you see those you want to rip them off and destroy them, otherwise they hatch into yucky nymphs. If I can find any, I'll show you. Here's another eggplant right there. Pretty eggplant getting some flowers on it. And over here I also have a purple Cherokee tomato, and we have some bok choy that I never got around to ripping out that went to seed. I left it in because the bees and the pollinators really liked it. I also have a cantaloupe in here. It's not doing very well, so I think I'll probably just rip that out also. And then over here is our asparagus patch. This is 1-year-old roots, and they are just producing like crazy, so I'm really excited to get some asparagus next year. So thank you so much for joining me looking at my garden today, and happy harvest!